got a lot to talk about. Astrologically speaking, Leo, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. There's always an extended reading, and I'll attach that link right below in the comment section and the description box. If you want to join me for a deeper reading and more details, please come along. Or you can join the Unbound membership, and the Unbound membership gives you unlimited access to all of the extended readings for the life of your membership, forward, past, and present, and future, plus all the other channel perks. So I hope you'll consider that. Leo comes out every single Friday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's over here on the West Coast. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you know when I upload your favorite content. If you would like to join me for daily tarot card readings, I have a second YouTube channel called Astrology Motivation, where you can find me live daily doing a general tarot card reading and chit chat. So I hope you join there too. Let's talk about the astrology first. We're going to get into the astrology first and then go into the cards. Well, there's just some interesting stuff happening. We've survived this new moon, which was hard. It was hard, I think, for both the sun and the moon, Leos and Cancerians, especially you, though, I have to say, because you're right out there front line, and it's a square to Jupiter. And that square to Jupiter remains this whole week. And it's going to be, a huge aspect for you. Why? Because it teaches you, or it encourages you. I mean, you're the sun, right? You're represented by the sun. The sun is already a star. It's already flaming. It's like, add Jupiter to that. And Jupiter is in Aries. This is like an atom bomb. It's expansion, but it's expansion too fast. It's expansion too quickly. It's expansion beyond, like almost like excessive expansion, almost cancer cell expansion. It's like it's too much to the point where you may not be handling it so well, or you may feel like you have to handle so much or be driven to change. And this is where the change is going to come from. In the beginning of this week, we have a really irritating aspect to Saturn. So there's something coming from parental figures, authority figures, this sense that making you feel like you're just not good enough and you always have to prove yourself. Criticisms or not being noticed, which for you must really irritate the crap out of you. It's like you've been working so hard, doing so much to get approval that you kind of lost sight of what was really important to you, or what you really enjoyed, and what you really loved. So this is the week to really kind of have that hit home, because during the midweek you're also squared to Chiron, and that's really when the pain sits in and you start to question your own validity, your own individuality, your own sense of, or just feeling resistance. Like anytime I try to do something, people don't appreciate it, or people don't get it, or they're not supporting me. Generally feeling, it's not about depression, it's like feeling like you're constantly being pushed against or criticized, ridiculed, or not taken seriously, or not appreciated. And that, along with that, how you're reacting, what's happening is you're overcompensating. You're doing too much. You're trying too hard. You're trying to be too big at too many things in order to show that I'm worth anything to begin with. And this is a sense of, it's almost like that Jupiterian energy. It's the expansion is encouraging you to lose yourself in these criticisms or this ignorance of other people. So this could be a very trying and difficult week for you, just because you don't have the normal confidence levels, especially with the square to Chiron, feeling like, and it's never enough, or people are never pleased. And your instant reaction to put yourself out there and do more could really break you. It could really wear you down. So I want you to take some time this week for self-care. I want you to take some time this week to be alone. Like, isolate yourself away from all the criticisms and all the condescension and really kind of like, and all the competition that you've kind of created in your mind to really get approval where you shouldn't have to work that hard for it. And maybe if you have to work that hard for it, it ain't for you. This is about the best way for you guys to really use the square to Jupiter is to put energy into what you really do care about, to focus it down, to trim the fat, to not try to take on too much or more. And for those people who are constantly contentious and constantly telling you that you're not doing enough, there is that sense of fuck off. Like, don't listen to them. This is let them go off and be a curmudgeon in their own lonely space. For you, it's got to be about what you care about, and whittling it down to just one or two things that you really want to focus on right now. And that is how you will leave yourself room to grow and expand. It's like mastery, self-mastery, and mastery of your craft, or your what turns you on, what excites you, instead of trying to do everything and having all these balls in the air and thinking that that's going to prove that you're really wonderful at something, or that you're worthwhile. It's not. It's wearing you too thin. So especially while this square persists to Jupiter, I want you to focus on just one or two things that you really, really dig. And the rest of the time, spend it by yourself. Spend it reading. Spend it feeding or encouraging an interest that you already have. Let's go into the cards. Leo, what do you have to? What would you like to tell Leo? Please, God. What is up for Leo? What is up with Leo? Yeah, it's been that kind of day. If you have been feeling drained, I got a lot of Leo placements. I have 3 prominent Leo placements. And I have to say, if you have been feeling drained, then it's probably a good idea for you to give yourself the time out and rest. If you could take a break this week or these couple of weeks, that would be the fucking best. I'll tell you that right now. Because if you try to push, you'll break. And you may not just break yourself, which could be, especially with a square to Chiron, actually doing personal injury, but it is also something where you could break in terms of break relationships, or, break connections because you're pushing too hard and trying too hard. Yeah, that's definitely something you don't want to, it's like you got to prove yourself so bad you're putting yourself in harm's way. We have be loyal to what you love. This is Cancerian. So start with your family. And I feel like a lot of this is trying to be loyal to what you love, trying to take care of and be what you think everybody wants you to be, or your ideal image of how you're supposed to fit in your family. But this is also really good advice to go along with the astrology. Be loyal to what you love. What is it that you love? This is even just focus on family, and all the other stuff, just let it kind of go. Like nothing else really matters except what's closest to home. And then we have see the big picture. Seeing what is most important. Seeing from a higher perspective. Taurus energy. Putting your money specifically into your family, or making sure that your family is taken care of. Also a sense of maybe planning long term for where your family is going to be, or how you're going to help your family, planning inheritances, stuff like that. But ultimately, Leo, this is a sense of realizing what matters most. When you see the big picture, it's easier sometimes to realize what is most important to you. In some strange way, it's where your brain, your attention always goes back to. And then love is all around, Nightingale, but this is in reverse, which means people could be talking shit, being heavily critical, or being silent, being quiet. This sense of trying to understand why people or family that you have put so much into are not saying anything, are not singing your praises. You're trying to understand and figure that out. Or this is the lack of hearing somebody's voice that's making you realize just what is important. This could also be a sense of friendship, like whittling down your friends, trimming the fat. and realizing who goes and who stays because it's not important. I have my core. I have people who really care about me, who really feel at home. And I've let too many other people into my life that I've been calling friends, but I don't see the real connection in how they really care about me. Or I could go long periods of time without talking to people, but at the same time, it's like, if I don't miss you, who are you really in my life? It could be realizing that because you haven't heard from somebody in a long time, you're starting to realize what's most important. Be here now. That's a blatant statement. Focus on the beauty that you have in front of you. Focus on the resources that you have in front of you. Focus on the joy that you have in front of you. If you, and this is hard for a fire sign, this is very challenging. If you constantly look to the future, you're forgetting about how amazing right here, right now is. And it's almost like you've been looking so far into the future, or about so much about what you want to set up for your family or your friends, or how you want to live down in history, that it's almost like in some ways you have been losing track of, but you haven't been available. You haven't been available to people where they need you, which is in the present moment. Okay? This could be also, you know, those situations where all of a sudden you stop and you're like, why haven't I heard from that person in a while? Wow, it's been like a couple of months, maybe a year has gone by. What has happened? If you feel that this week, just can stop and call them immediately. Rebirth is assured. This is Scorpionic energy, which means that something is coming back to life, or in some ways you're starting to renew an interest in or a priority toward something that used to be very, very, that you used to take very seriously, or a rebirth is assured. This could be leveling up too. I think it's what you need. Time for a deep dive. This is love. Love and romance. It's almost like that's what it is. Focusing on the here and now. Calling up people that you've missed and that your heart is hurting for. It's going to help. These are tools in your arsenal right now that's going to help you bring back your sense of romance. And now romance, I don't necessarily mean sex or love. I mean your sense of idealism. It seems like you've lost the ideal. It's like the wine has lost its taste. You're just going through the motions now. Because overall, you don't see yourself getting anywhere, or it's been treading water, or just this sense of like, it's the lack of success or lack of validation, or the perceived lack of appreciation. Like what you expected, you didn't get. And so ultimately, there's just this sense of losing your connection to something, and then finding it again by focusing on what's in front of you and only what's in front of you, and not comparing it to what you hope to have or see yourself as having. Just looking right here, right now at what's in front of you is going to help to deepen your sense of, it's gonna reignite your fire, your passion for something. It's gonna bring back the romance or the ideal of it. Like, yeah, maybe you've been looking at things too small. You've been looking at too many details. You need to just step back and remember, what am I doing this all for, right? And then we have clear out the clutter. This is 4th house energy, Cancerian energy, also transformative. I talked about this in the astrology, right? This is a sense of what doesn't fit anymore. The shit that doesn't fit, the shit that doesn't serve you, the crap that's just weighing you down and holding you back. This could actually be, you could start this in the physical world and get a spiritual healing or outcome from it. How do you do that? You have been hoarding things. You've been collecting too much. You have too many things. You've been trying too hard to get pleasure out of materials. What you do is you go into your house and you start to clean shit out. I don't care if you give it away or you sell it, but you start to like unclutter your space. It's like your life has gotten too much shit on it, and you've gotten too heavy. And that's part of the reason why everything about your spirituality or how your heart feels has gotten too heavy. You've collected too much junk. I don't care if it's a $50,000 handbag and a $150,000 dress. Get the fuck rid of it. If you don't wear it, if you don't use it, if it's not important to you or has no, family heirloom kind, get the fuck rid of it. You are being instructed by spirit to find true value by cleaning out the gunk and trimming the fat. That is essential this week. And that could be, I'm going to tell you this right now, this could be for friends too. Like we talked about a little while ago. People that you don't hear from in a long time, people that don't make an effort to reach out to you, people that only think of themselves, right? That's something that you need to really like, hey, it's almost like, okay, this is interesting. Stop. We had something that has stopped in the past, but it turned into okay, maybe reconsider it or think about it again. So what is it that had stopped in the past, especially like relationships or enthusiasm for something? It's like you're getting a sense of, okay, maybe let me reconsider it. Let me pay attention to it again. It shut me down. I was shut down completely. Now maybe I'll start to wake up and happy birthday, Doug Denny. Consider it again. But what is this? This isn't going to answer me. What is this? But what is this? Your nature. Oh, that just whoa. Something in your nature completely shut down. Maybe something reproductively, like you'd stopped reproducing or you'd stopped trying to become a parent or something, or something that was just almost primal energy for you. You'd stopped. And I think it was because of a lot of criticism or a harsh upbringing. But now it's coming back. It's like there's little glimmers, sparks are starting to fly in you again. And that's the way you're going to beat this tyranny. It is tyranny. It is in some ways, even if it's from childhood trauma, which it very well could be, especially with Chiron. What kind of tyranny, what kind of hurt, what kind of pain was applied to you that, whether it was criticism or physical or sexual, whatever kind of pain was applied to you that made you stop being who you are. And now that's starting to come back to you because you're starting to realize, I gotta trim this shit that isn't authentically me, that it is actually instead somebody that I'm supposed to be or based on what other people wanted me to be because it was convenient for them. This has got childhood trauma written all over it. It may not be exactly that, but it's kind of like that. I once read, I did a meme recently. I posted it on my TikTok channel and my Instagram feed. Check those two out, man. You can actually find the links directly to them in my channel banner here. But I digress. It was a quote that said, you have to unlearn what you've learned from trauma, including your personality. Because that's not who you are. It's who you learned to be to survive the trauma. But that's not your authentic self. So it's almost like that shit is starting to chip away now. And you're starting to not let all that crap, that tyranny, really repress you anymore. You're about to blow it the fuck up by finding even just one thing that you really adore to bring yourself back to life. Oh, shit. This is huge, Leo. Chiron is front and center here. Healing from trauma, healing from suffering, taking that pain and using it to heal others and to make the future better based on what you now realize was really horrible for you. And there's going to be a lot of, out of pain comes great bounty, right? Being able to find a way to conduct that pain is going to generate a lot of prosperity and health and happiness. Caring for yourself, taking care of who you are, feeding yourself correctly. It's like you had to go through shit and injury to really force yourself to start really doubling down and taking care of who you are. Oh, the star. This is you. This is your singularity. Leo, come on. You are the star. And it's not just you are the star. It's legitimately finding your own individuality again. Independent from everything that had been caked on top of you. Arcturian Council is all about health and wellness, and like recalibrating through holistic medicine or feeding yourself correctly, getting that help you need to take care of your first house, which is yourself. So you're really wanting to take this time to heal. It's going to be so obvious where that shit came from, and ultimately be able to crack through that and start contributing to your happiness, and focusing on Jesus. You don't have to keep doing all this. What is it that you just love? What is it that you care about? I'm so sad that you have been kept from that because you felt you had to be something big and bad and spectacular, when really what have made you spectacular is to just trust your heart and follow your fucking aspirations. Please check that link below. We're going to go to the extended Leo. I love you guys.